Who is she? We don't know her. What's going on? I don't have my extensions on today. This is my El Natural Lord Farquaad Snape hair. So be nice, okay? I've been kind of like in a little bit of a rut, and the best way to get out of a rut and get out of the feeling of maybe not feeling the best is by getting ready and looking better. I mean, sometimes I just feel like that's what helps me. It's probably like 6 p.m. or maybe it's a little earlier, but I haven't done anything today. I literally woke up, got coffee, went on a little walk, came back home, and going through it, you guys. I just feel like nothing, I'm not gonna bother you guys with my problem. I'm gonna use this cream right here. This is the Advanced Snail 92 cream because my face is dry as the Sahara. I don't know if you guys are like that, but I get really dry skin, so I have to be very adamant about putting on a solid moisturizer. And you know what? I was influenced with this one because I bought this like a while ago, and it was just sitting there, and I used it maybe like a few times. And when I used it, I got these like weird white marks on my face. Like it was almost like bleaching my face. And I thought, oh my God, I know that it's this. I know it's this, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think it was this by itself. I was using this with a different moisturizer, and I think the combination of the two was causing me to get these like white splotches on my face. And I'm gonna use this Ren eye cream. I noticed that this stuff really helps because whenever I take it off, like when I take my makeup off at night, I'm like, oh wow, I actually look like awake and young and fresh. So the Ren eye cream, I literally got this from TJ Maxx for like 10 bucks. Today, I really want to do a dark makeup look, and as you guys know, dark makeup scares me. It's hard. It's not easy when you're using like black eyeshadow and doing that kind of stuff, but I thought today I would do something like that because why not? We need to grow, we need to get out of our comfort zone. We need to do something that's a little bit more tough. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm actually gonna start with my eyes, and I'm gonna use the Ulta Beauty matte eye primer. The other day I was watching a makeup video, and I don't know, I used to watch makeup videos all the time, and then I took a break, and then now that I'm back on watching like makeup videos, I'm like, whoa, like I get why I used to watch them so much. It's because they are so relaxing and satisfying to watch. Like when you're watching somebody and they actually do their makeup nice, or even like decent, like they don't even have to do it like that nice. I just like to watch the way other people get ready. It's so interesting to me. Like even I was watching the Call Her Daddy, the Alex Cooper, like I can't remember what it was, if it was Vogue or Allure Beauty or whatever it was, but I was watching the video of her getting ready, and like she gets ready, but she's not like a full glam kind of girl. But it was just so fun watching. I'm like, what does Alex Cooper do? You know what I mean? What type of makeup does this woman do? I want to know. So today we are diving into the Noir palette. This is by the brand Lorac, which by the way, Lorac makes amazing eyeshadows. I definitely love them. And I also wanted to dive in. There's this color that I've been looking at. You know when you get an eyeshadow palette and there's this color that you see and you're like, I like that color, but I have no idea how or when I would ever use it. That's how I feel about this REM Beauty palette. This color right here. So it's like a shimmery dark color. Oh, this is called Midnight Snack. That's cute. I don't know what that color is called. I don't think they have names, but it's this really dark, kind of dark bluish color. Like this is obviously blue, but this is like a gray charcoal dark color. And I thought today I'm gonna use that on my eyelid, like the whole freaking lid. I'm scared. I wanted to maybe talk about things that I haven't talked about yet, because I know that there's so many things, like when you create, you know, any type of like YouTube channel. I'm gonna use the Tarte palette, by the way, Jet Setter, this color right here, and I'm just gonna put it over my lid on the crease. You know when, like well, maybe you don't know when, but when you create a channel and you're like, I could talk about so many things. Like, I like to tell stories, I like to come with advice, I like to be funny, try to be funny, whatever, just be myself, whatever, give advice that I want to give, because I don't care about what other people, like, again, it's not even advice, it's just like giving my opinion, because this is my channel, right? And then like in my last video I was talking about how just go up to a guy, it's not that deep, because it's not. And this girl commented like, I'm not a pursuer, I would never. And I'm like, at first when I saw the comment, I was kind of like, okay, like that's exactly why I say in my videos, this is my opinion, this is my opinion, this is not a fact, this is my opinion, and you don't have to agree with me, and don't even listen to me, do what you want to do. And so when she commented that, I was just like, okay, like, you know, I'm not gonna get annoyed by it, even though I did a little, because I'm just like, we're all entitled to our own opinion. You watching a video and you commenting, honestly, on my video means more than you'll ever know. In a good way. Like, you took the time to comment on my video to tell me that you didn't agree with me. And you know, for that, like that, just like how I took the time to make a video to talk about something that I'm like, people probably won't agree with me here. People aren't gonna agree with me. So when I say go up to a guy and just say hi, a lot of women are not gonna agree with that. They're gonna be like, I would never do that. And that makes sense, because that's what a lot of my friends say, and that's okay, and that is okay. And some of them say they would, and some of them say they wouldn't. Life starts when you realize that everyone will have a different opinion, and everyone will either agree, not agree, whatever, and you can't control it, and that's fine. And that is just the way of life. But today, like as I was saying, I always talk about different things, and I want to talk more about spirituality and religion, or maybe not religion, but like spirituality, the universe, the world, God, all those types of things. So I was raised Christian ever since I was a child, like for as long as I can remember. I would go to church with my family every single Sunday. And, you know, I believed in God, and I believed in everything that I was being taught. But at the same time, I was also, you know, when you're raised that way, it's just the way it is. Like, you don't know any other way, right? This is Milani spray. Ooh, I'm excited actually. And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't think I've ever used this color. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. How are we feeling? Do we feel like Heather Dubrow yet? I've been obsessed with the Heather Dubrow, Nina Dobrev eyeshadow looks lately. And you can, like, I don't even know what that means, but like the dark with the, like the dark look. Just all my life doing my makeup, I never really liked the dark. I just didn't think it looked good on me. And now I'm like, you know what? I kind of like it. I think it might good look. Can I speak? Oh my God, what was that? A demon just took over my body because I'm trying to talk about the Lord. It's like, no, you're not. You're not talking about this. You're not preaching to the choir. You're not telling the stories. You're not sharing about your faith. You better be quiet. That's what it's saying. I'm gonna dive into a little bit of this black, but like ever so lightly, and get in that crease. I'm grabbing this like thinner brush right here, and I know that I just completely stopped what I was talking about, but don't worry, I'm gonna dive back in a little bit. I just need to focus on this eye look before I start talking about something serious. So get the thinner, like this thinner little brush, and I went into the black, And what I'm gonna do is go right on top of my lashes with the black. I keep doing that with my forehead. My forehead's literally gonna, I need to get Botox away. Get Botox on my forehead because what the hell? What the helliante? And now I'm just gonna put on the foundation and then I'll be able to talk. There's some crazy like exotic birds outside that are making crazy sounds, so just don't even, like, what is that? That's not a real bird. I'm gonna put some e.l.f. primer on. This primer is absolutely fantastic. Like, that is not a bird that is like from California. Whatever. So I grew up Christian and my entire life, like, that's like what I knew, right? I believed in God. I believed in everything that I read in the Bible. I believed all of that kind of stuff. And I still do. I'm just saying, like, when I was younger, it's like you're taught it. I would go to like vacation Bible study with my sisters and even like with my friends growing up. I would, in high school, I was in a teenage like Bible study group. I was in the choir when I was little. I was in a few plays, a few Christian plays, you know, just like the usual, like when you're raised Christian kind of stuff that you do. This is kind of warm. I honestly, like, if my foundation ever doesn't match, I need to like go to Sephora and seriously have someone be like, sit down, we are gonna find your shade, because I just feel like my shade is always wrong, but it's always changing too. There are times where I wanted to know if God was real or not. And I would be like, you know what? Like, I remember when I was in Bible study, there was times when I feel like I wanted to be I wanted it to be proven to me that God was real. And I'm like, you know what? If God's who he says he is, he can make it happen. Like, he can show me. And I was like, I need to see, like, with a physical object, I need to know if God is real. And at the time, I think, how old was I? Like maybe 12, maybe 11, like I was young. And I prayed to God. I was like, I want to know, like, if you're real, I want to know, you know, I want to know if you are. Like, I just feel like I want to be like certain, you know, because if I'm, you know, it's scary. It's like to just believe in and pray to something and you're like, I want to know, like, is this real? Like, you know, and I'm a child and like, I want to know. This is all I know. This is how I was raised, but I still, like, I need to know if this is real. And I prayed, and the next day I woke up and I felt something in my pillowcase. And I'm like, what the heck is this? I look at my pillowcase and there's a dollar bill. And I'm like, what? Because usually my mom would put like a dollar bill under my pillow, like for the tooth fairy. You know, like, yeah, I would leave my tooth that fell out under my pillow, and then I would wake up and I would have a dollar or like a $5 bill or whatever, like a little bit of money, a little bit of cash. And I see this dollar bill and I'm like, what? Like, I didn't just lose a tooth. Like, what's going on? Like, why would my mom wouldn't do that. My mom wouldn't randomly put a dollar bill under my pillowcase. So I went up to my mom and I said, hey, like, did you put this on my pillow? She said, no. Okay, I asked my dad, did you put this on my pillow? He said, no. The next day I wake up, there's another dollar. I hear crinkling in my pillowcase. When I wake up, I check again, there's another dollar. I'm like, what is going on? And now that I'm thinking about this, I should have kept those dollar bills. Like, how crazy is that? Why didn't I keep those? Whatever. I look, again, there's a dollar. I go up to my dad, I go up to my mom, did you put this here? I go up to my sisters, did you put this here? Why are you guys like playing this joke on me? And I didn't grow up like super rich or anything, so I'm like, I know that my family wouldn't give me money randomly. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't do that. And so I was just like, okay, what's going on? Like, what's the deal here? What's going on here? And so the next day, I wake up again. There's another $1. And then I believe it was like the 3rd or 4th day, I wake up and I'm thinking, I'm not gonna find anymore. This is not gonna happen. And I reach in my pillowcase, because every day I'd put it away. And there was like $3 or $4 bills this time. I can't remember the exact amount, but there was multiple dollar bills this time in my pillowcase. And it's kind of like God going, I'm real, I'm real, I'm real. And just to show you one last time, I am real. And keep in mind, I didn't tell my parents about this. I didn't tell them like, oh yeah, I prayed to God, I want to know if he's real. So then they would like do this to like try to prove it to me. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't talk about it to anybody. I didn't say anything to anybody. Again, like my parents were definitely not the type of parents that would just randomly put money in my pillowcase. And it's funny because it was in my pillowcase. And so I'm just like, what is going on? You know, I asked again, my family, no, no, no. And I'm like, that is so weird. Like, that is so weird. And I just like started crying. I just started crying. And I was just like, God, I believe you. And I said, God, I believe you. I believe you. I know you're real. God, I believe you. I'll never, ever doubt you, ever. And I remember I was like laying in my bed and I had this like canopy thing over my bed. And when I was crying and I said like, I believe you, and I was praying, and this light shined through my window and it was like right on the little canopy. And it was just like so bright. And I remember just like touching my canopy and just like feeling the warmth. And I'm like, I don't know, I felt like that was God, whatever. And I'm just like, I believe you. I will never like doubt you. And since that age, I mean, I never really doubted him that much before, but I just needed like the physical, like, and sometimes that's what people need. And although, you know, we shouldn't need to see that as humans though, like God understands we're humans. And sometimes it can be hard to believe in something if you feel like there's not proof, even though there is proof. And I think the more you get further along, like in your journey, you see the proof, you realize the proof, and you will find it in other parts of your life. And I'm jumping in with the NARS concealer, and I'm just going to put it underneath my eyes. But it was just crazy because, you know, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to have it happen multiple times in a row, and then for the last time for it to be like, and this is the final like finale, like, and I'm gonna give you multiple dollars, and that's the finale, and like, you know, and this is what it is. And then I never like doubted. And I think even, you know, even after that happened though, my faith, it was there. But at that point in my life, like I've gone through things, but I wasn't a full grown adult yet to where I could understand why I would go through certain things. And then so as I got older, and I would say my faith grew mostly in my last few years of life, because my mom like got sick, and she was sick my own like whole life since I was like 8 years old with cancer. But, and each time that like anything with my mom would happen, I would always be praying, God, you know, let her live longer, this and that. This last time, like she was on hospice and I was taking care of her, and it was, you know, it was really hard. It was really, really hard. I'm like, I don't even know how I'm doing this. Like I honestly, I'm like, I don't even know how I'm even doing this right now, how I'm even able to take care of her and work and drive back and forth, because I live like 2 hours away from her. And I'm just like, how am I even doing this, and I knew that it was all through the strength that I was receiving from God, because there's just no way mentally, emotionally, physically, how I went through doing that for like 3.5 months, how I could do that. There's just no way that I would be able to do that normally. And every single night I was worshiping, I was praying, I was this, I was that, I was spending so much time with God. And my mom, you know, she was Christian, and she would read her daily devotional, and I would like read it for her sometimes, and we would read together, we would meditate together, you know. And you know, her faith was really strong, but there are times where she's like, oh, you know, I know what's gonna happen to me. And she's like, and I just am like, but why does it have to be like this? Why does it have to be like this? And I'm like, I don't know, because it's like, it was the most horrible thing. Like, she couldn't eat, she could hardly even drink water, she couldn't go to the bathroom, she was in a lot of pain, she had to take a lot of pain medicine, she couldn't even walk, like she couldn't even sit up by herself, she couldn't. I was literally watching her like decompose in front of my eyes, and it was the most horrific thing. And I'm like, I don't know, you know. And I would always pray and obviously hope for her to live longer and longer and longer and longer. But I've been doing that for 20 years. Like, I was doing it since I was 8. And at the time, I was 28. I was 28. Or no, I was 27 turning 28 when this was all going on. And I was like, I don't even know, because she passed away like a little bit before I turned 28. And so I was like, I don't know what to do anymore, because I prayed so much. And when she got sick again for like maybe the 5th time or the 4th time with cancer, like had to get surgery, had to do this, had to do that, had to go through chemo, had to go through all these treatments. When it was like the 4th time, I was like, please do not let her pass away without getting married again, without her finding love again, without her, you know, living in a house that makes her feel peaceful again. Like, don't let her go like this. And when I prayed that prayer, I said, let her live until she's 60. Let her live in a house that she wants to live in. Let her find love. Let her this and that. And that's exactly what happened. And that is why, why my faith is just so strong, because I prayed for that to happen, and she lived longer. Or not longer, but longer than what she was supposed to. So she lived until she was literally 60 years old, got married again, lived in a place that she wanted to live, like lived in a house with lots of land, with a garden, with the, you know, like she was very like into gardening and like being outside and having land, and like she didn't care about having like some big house, you know. So she lived in like this cute little house with land, and she loved where she lived. And I was just like, this is insane. And I didn't even realize it until she passed away. But that was like the prayer that I prayed so hard when she got sick again. Like, please do not let her go in this way, like where she's living alone. Because at the time she was like living alone and blah, blah, blah. Not when she was on hospice. This was before she was on hospice. And I prayed for that, and like it happened. It literally happened. And it's just wild. Like, I just prayed this prayer that's so specific, and it happened. And I think like that's something that I wanted to tell everyone here today, is like, don't be afraid to get specific in your prayers that you're praying. Even if you don't believe in God, and if you're new to this, don't be afraid to get specific about your prayers. And if you're afraid of praying, like, I don't know how to say don't be afraid of praying, but like, don't be afraid of praying. I don't know, like, don't feel like, you know, God loves everyone. God does really love everybody, and he wants to, be there for everyone, help everybody. And the cruelty that is in your life or in the world, like that doesn't come from God. And after that situation happened, and then my mom passed away, and then after that, I really started seeing her, which was honestly kind of scary at first. I'm not even gonna lie, it was terrifying. It was terrifying. Like, I would be laying in bed and I'd be like, I see her. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like when I would close my eyes with the lights off, I could like see her in front of me. And then I would get this crazy tingly feeling all over my entire body. And I would see her looking at me, and like she would always be looking at me with this like worried look. I felt a strong feeling and presence and sense over my body, and it was scary, and I honestly didn't like it. And although it's like, yeah, would it be cool to see my mom? Sure. But I was like, not in this sense. Not in this sense. I can see you in a dream. I can see you somewhere else. But in this sense, it was too scary for me. And so I prayed about it. And guys, I couldn't sleep with the lights off I couldn't sleep. Like, when I was taking care of my mom while she was on hospice, I could hardly sleep. And then after she passed away, I could not sleep. Like, I slept with my lights on, with this overwhelming sense over my entire body of just tingly feeling. And it could have been also like grief, because I did look up grief symptoms, and it was a grief symptom is actually being tingly. And it's because your body is just like really sad, and it's thinking a lot, and it's going through a lot. I just prayed. I said, God, I need to sleep. Like, I don't even know. Like, I need to sleep. Like, I need to sleep, and I am not going to be able to sleep like this. And although I would love to like see my mom, and I know maybe she's trying to communicate with me or whatnot, I said, like, right now, like, this is too much for me. And it's sad because I don't want to say like, go away, but it was too much. And I don't know if anyone else has dealt with this before, so you can just let me know if you have, because it probably sounds kind of creepy, but whatever, it's what it is. I experienced it. But I prayed for it to go away, and it did. And when it did, I still honestly couldn't sleep with the lights off, because it was just, I guess, fear of like, what if it comes back? I don't know. Like, even though I know it's not something scary, I know it's not like a demon or a ghost or something. It's just, I don't know, my brain wanting to, I don't know, like talk to the other side. But I never really like believed in this kind of stuff before. Like those like mediums and stuff. And technically those are like against Christianity and whatnot. But I definitely feel like we do connect and can connect to the spiritual realm, because it's not that far away. It's like, it's here. You know what I mean? And I never believed in that kind of stuff until I experienced it myself. And even now, talking about it, people are probably like, what? That's super weird. Like, there's no way you experienced that. But it's like, I did. And I think that's why I can talk about it now and not really care if people think it's weird or not, because you know what you experience in your own life. But it was really weird. So first that happened, like I was like kind of seeing her, and I was like, this is really odd. And then prayed for that to go away, went away, and then I was having like very, very vivid dreams where I was, and I would pray for this. I would pray like, I want to have a dream. I miss my mom's hugs. I miss her voice. I miss this. I miss that, whatever. And then I started having dreams with her where like I would hug her goodbye, and I can genuinely feel myself hugging her. and I could feel like the feeling of hugging her. And then I would wake up and I'd be like what? Felt like I was just in the room with her. And then like she wouldn't speak out loud, like I couldn't hear it like audibly, but it was almost like speaking to each other's like minds. Like she would like look at me in the dream and I can sense what she was saying to me without her opening her mouth or saying it. And it was crazy and honestly really cool. And I honestly like loved those dreams because those were not scary. Those were actually pretty like chill, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh my God, that was crazy. Like, I can't believe I just had that dream. Like, that's wild, you know? But it wasn't from a place of fear. And so that I was fine with. And then, you know, just getting signs, I guess, you know, signs all the time, just from heaven of like, you know, butterflies. And I don't know, and I know a lot of people say like butterflies make them think of like maybe people that passed away in their life. But like whenever I see butterflies, I think of my mom, and I would see them all the time randomly, or they would be like following me or around me, and whenever they are, I feel like, okay, like she's here, she's, you know, with me. I don't feel like alone. And you know, it's a good feeling to have. It's a great feeling to have when you feel that, you know, especially when you've dealt with loss. So recently, and this is something that I wanted to like delve into mostly today, was I started to, you know, they call it the secret place, like kind of where you go with God, where you let God speak to you. And I never really understood that. Like, what do you mean God's going to be talking to me? Like, I'm going to be hearing him speak to me out loud? Like, what is this? Like, there's no way that's going to happen. Like, what are you talking about? And I always was jealous of when people would say that they would experience that, because especially I didn't really believe, I mean, I believed in it, but I didn't believe that I could have it happen to me. I didn't really believe that it was going to work with me for some reason. But as I was experiencing all this stuff, like just after my mom passed away, it kind of like opened the door for me to be like, okay, maybe I can actually, like maybe this is something I could experience. So I started to, you know, meditate. I was meditating a lot. There's times like after my mom passed away, especially, where I'd meditate a lot more because we used to do that together, and she would send me meditations all the time. You know, I still have so many that she sent me that I wouldn't do when she was, you know, still here, because I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll get around to it, you know, that's just how it is. But of course, like after she passed away, I was like, okay, now like I am gonna like start doing these. I'm gonna start, you know, getting into it or whatever. And so, you know, I did. Something just told me like meditate, but then when the meditation is over, just like sit, you know, just sit in the silence. Just sit in the silence, be quiet, and like let yourself just sit in the silence, which could be hard, you know, to sit in the silence, because it could be a little bit like weird because we're so used to noise all the time that it was kind of like sit in the silence, you know what I mean? What? And so, sorry, I'm debating on what I should do with my eyes. Like, do I put eyeliner on? Like, I feel like I should have put eyeliner on. Maybe just a little on the edge. I'll do a little bit. So I was like, okay, you know, maybe I'll just sit in the silence and see what happens. And so I did that, and I just started to cry. Like my eyes just got teary-eyed, and I felt this like sense of peace and relief come over me. And I just heard God say, rest. And here's how I know. This is what's crazy. When this happens, you are not hearing something audibly. it's almost like it's just words that are being transferred into your mind. You're not hearing it like how you're hearing my voice right now. It's something that's just transferred into your mind that you're not thinking, is the best way that I can explain it. So I'm sitting there and I hear, rest, my child. Like, everything is gonna be okay, but keep going. Because at the time I lost my job, I lost my mom, I lost my job. I was like financially not doing the best. And I just was like, okay, I need to like listen to this. And it was the first time that it's happened to me. And I was like, this is insane. Because when it happened, I just kept crying. I was like, God, you know, like that's God. That's not me. That's not me. I don't think of these words. Do you know what I mean? I don't think of the word rest, my child. Like that sounds so cringe and cheesy and weird. And like, I don't think that way. Like, do you know what I mean? My brain wouldn't put that together because I don't think or say those things or hear those things or anything like that. So it's like it was being told to me in my mind, through my mind. But this sense of calm that I felt come over me was unlike anything like I've ever felt in my life. Like it was the best, like the best thing ever. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe like this is happening right now. And I ended up just, you know, praying and saying, thank you, God. And I, you know, continued to rest. And I continued to also try to not worry and just like keep applying to jobs and keep doing the controllables of what I can do to support myself. And that's all I can do. That's all I can do is like continue to like support myself and, you know, do the controllables of what I could do. So this is all going on. And I was like, wow, like God really spoke to me. That's crazy. And when it happens, you're kind of like, I want it to happen again. Because it's so cool. It's like, you know, it's like I pray to God all the time. The amount of times that I get to actually hear him speak to me are few. And I realize not only is it because like maybe it's hard to like get to that place, it's not that difficult. You just really have to be quiet and sit down and let it come to you. And it will. But you have to be in a place where you are open to actually like receiving it. Otherwise, I feel like it's hard for it to just happen. Because at that time, I was in a place of like, I know that spiritual stuff like that can happen because I experienced it with my mom and it was really scary, but I want to experience it with God. And so I started, ever since like it kind of broke the seal, it started happening a lot more. And I was able to like get there, and I was able to sit and be quiet and receive it and not be scared of it. And that's the thing, because it can be scary. But I feel like once you experience it, you realize how calming it is, how incredible it is. I just now realized that I didn't do contour or blush, but I'm probably not going to do blush today. I'm probably just going to do contour, so let me do that. So with that being said, so that was like the first incident where I was just like sitting there and meditating, and then it happened. And then it happened again. It happened again one night. I was worshiping, listening to worship music, which I've been doing a lot now lately. And I actually really would love to like get into that on here, like get a mic and start like doing like sessions at night where it's like really peaceful. I put my little lamp on, I put some candles on, and I sit on my bed and I just like close my eyes and I listen to worship music. And it really puts me into this place where I feel so at peace, so calm, so like just good. Like it feels like I'm spending time with God, and I feel like that's something that I've been doing a lot. I would say like these last few years, I've been really like spending time with God rather than just praying, going to church, doing those things. It's like, no, like, let's sit and let's spend some time with God. And let's also involve him in more areas of our life, like ask him things, pray in my head throughout the day at any time that I want without, you don't need to be like sitting like this and praying all the time. You can pray in your head while you're just walking down the street. You know what I mean? And I think like knowing that you have that freedom and knowing also that you have that access to God is something that is really going to set your faith on a whole new level, on a whole new journey, because you're not going to feel like you're blocked, because you're not. You always have access to God, right? So knowing that, so I started, spending a lot of my time getting into worshiping, and I enjoy singing, I enjoy writing music, and I wrote a few like worship songs. But again, like I don't play any instruments, so it's kind of hard for me to like really get into it. But anyway, sitting at night, and I was worshiping, and all of a sudden I'm just sitting there and my eyes are closed, and I just start seeing this like beautiful vision. And it's almost like not a vision. Because vision I feel like is more so in the future. It was more so like I'm getting a sneak peek of what's going on in heaven like right now. And I'm sitting there with my eyes closed, and I see my mom. All of a sudden it's really, really bright. It's really bright. It's like this bright light. And I see my mom sitting with her feet in this beautiful pond with like a waterfall, and there's these willow trees in the wind, and it's bright and it's light and it's beautiful, and birds are chirping, and I just hear the sounds of the water just like trickling into the pond, and I see like a lamb, and I see this wooden stick, and and it goes up, and it's like Jesus, and he's standing smiling at me, looking at me, not like like totally smiling, but like a little smile. He's looking at me, and then he looks down like, see, she's here, she's safe, she's fine. And I see my mom sitting down, she's not looking at me, with her feet in the water. And then all of a sudden I look down, and there's someone's feet in front of me, and it's like a man's feet, and I like go to look up, and it's my Bible study teacher that passed away in a horrible accident like a few years ago. Passed away in a horrible accident. And he was near and dear to like my family and me, and he was just like a vocal part of my life and just my journey in general with like faith and all of that kind of stuff. And honestly, sometimes I don't think about him, or like not forget about him, because I don't forget about him, but it's like, it's just very sad that my brain doesn't really like to think about it much. And like, I looked up and I see his face, and I'm just like, John? And he's like, just like looks at me. And again, it's like, not like he's verbally speaking, but it's like a mind thing. And he's like, we are safe, we are good, we are here. And I'm like, wow, what? And like, it just felt so like refreshing to see him, and so good to see him. And then he moved out of the way, and then now my mom is looking at me, and she's in her head, she's like looking at me, she's like, Julia? And then she kind of has this like worried look, and she's like, what? Like, why are you here? And I'm like, I'm not, I'm just like visiting you, kind of, almost. And she looked at me like, you can't be here yet. You can't be here yet. And I'm like, I know, like, I just want to say, like, visit you. And she's like, you can't be here yet. Like, go. Like, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm good. You go. Like, you can't be here yet. Like, why are you here? Did you die and go to heaven? Like, kind of like giving me that look. And so I ended up, after that visual happened, I ended up like waking up, even though I was sitting up in my bed with my eyes closed, listening to worship music, literally being thrown into this other world, like this other dimension. I'm not on drugs, I'm not high, I'm not drinking, I'm not any of that. I'm completely sober. And so when this happened, I was like, did I just like go to heaven? I literally just went to heaven. And what's crazy is, so that happened. That was like the coolest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I was like, I just got to like visit my mom. Like I just got to like visit God, visit my mom, visit John. I got to like go see them. Like how crazy. And it genuinely felt like I was there. Like I didn't feel like I was sitting on my bed anymore. I felt like I was like literally there. And I'm like, whoa, like this is the coolest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And like I just like prayed after that. I was like, thank you for this gift. Thank you for this gift that I have. Like this is crazy. I feel like I'm like traveling, you know? And you know, this isn't the first time. That wasn't like the last time that it's happened, but that was like the most craziest one. But I've had another like 2 other ones. Sometimes it happens when I'm dreaming, and then sometimes it happens when I'm awake and I'm listening to worship music or like praying, sitting after meditation, where I literally go to a whole other world, and it's magical. It's crazy. It's so crazy. And I've had it happen another time where like this is like a shorter one, but where I'm just like, it's always the same kind of flower field, and it's this beautiful flower field like surrounded by all these trees, and I'm always like wearing like this like long like dress, and I'm like running in this flower field, I sound crazy right now, towards Jesus. And he's like really tall and wearing this long white gown, and he's just glowing, and everything's like glowing and beautiful and sparkly and pretty, and I'm barefoot, and like the grass is like soft, like very soft, and like it's a beautiful like starry night, but it's weirdly like really bright, like it's like being lit up by the moon. And I'm like running towards God, and I give him a hug, and like the hug just feels like so powerful, so crazy, and I just feel this flood of like come over me, and this like love, and this feeling of just peace and relief that comes over me. That's like this sense of calm. I can't even tell you like how crazy it is and how crazy it feels. And it's wild. And so this has actually started happening to me like so this started happening since my mom passed away, so since January 2023. But these more in-depth visuals of like literally seeing heaven has been happening since this year that started happening. And I feel like it started happening when I started like really spending time sitting, praying, listening to worship music, and like letting my brain just go. Like relief, maybe like the word I can use is surrendering, fully surrendering, and that's something that I'm still learning how to do. Like just like fully kind of like just letting your brain go where it needs to go. Obviously it's like, it's interesting, and obviously like everybody obviously isn't going to experience this, or maybe you guys have, maybe you guys experience things that are similar, maybe you guys haven't, maybe you guys have other gifts. Because I would say like at first it was kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie, but then I started realizing, I'm like, this is a gift, and this is crazy, and I need to talk about this, because I might sound crazy, but I know I'm not like the only one. Because you know those like videos that you see like of people like talking to the dead and stuff, like that's a little crazy to me. But like, I mean, like, could I sit down and do it on command? No. Could I go in someone's house and be like, your dad died from this and this is what's going on? And I don't know if I could do that, but at the same time, I haven't really like tried with other people. I've only been able to experience it when God allows it and within my own life and within myself. So yeah, it's really crazy. It's really cool. And I'm hoping that it happens soon again, because the last time it happened was maybe like a month ago. I guess that's not that long ago. But yeah, I have always had very intense dreams my entire life, but like with this isn't like a dream. Like, yeah, I do have dreams still too, but this is more so like something is happening, like something is going on, like something is going on that's crazy and so cool and just interesting to even explain and to tell people. And I've told my sisters about this, I told my friends about this, and sometimes I'm apprehensive to tell people because I don't want them to think I'm like a freak. But whenever I tell people, they're like, wow, like you have a gift, like your body's taking you to heaven. Like, what? Like, your mind is taking you to heaven? Because I mean, I'm almost done with this video because I feel like this is super long. And I need to put mascara on. I'm like, something's missing here. Something's missing, but I don't even know what it is. And like, I feel like this, like when you do dark eyeshadow, I mean, like, I feel like this is enough, right? I used the Panorama. This is actually like almost gone, but I love this one. Shh, everyone be quiet. I kind of want to put this hourglass on my nose. You can't even see my freckles. Ooh. Oh my God, are we getting crazy? When in doubt, blend it out. Ooh, I didn't know that was gonna rhyme so well. But when in doubt, blend it out. I have a wall of window right here, and people will like walk down from the apartment building next door and like with their dog and like let them go to the bathroom. And I always hear like, good job, buddy, good job, buddy. And then I look over and I just see someone like wearing sweatpants and like cowboy boots because they needed to run outside really quick to let their dog go to the bathroom. And then they like awkwardly like look at me, and then sometimes I'm like, but I like this look, guys. Let's take these out. I feel so weird having my like El Natural hair on cam. I look like Snape. What the helly? What the helliante? Just be nice. This is Snape, Snape core, Snape lore. Please like and subscribe and comment and like and tell me everything. If you related to anything I said, if you also have access to go to other realms, I don't know. I look like a mom, like going to pick up her kids from soccer. Get in, kids, we're gonna go to Starbucks. Do you want a cake pop? Stop fighting. Stop fighting. Stop. All right, let's get in the Porsche.